What is the best bank for small business? Well, not all banks are made equal, and not all of them by a long shot fit for small business. So in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how you find them and what questions you need to ask when you're interviewing your banker. As entrepreneurs and business owners, we know that if we have a clear plan, anything becomes possible. And if you can have a clear plan, a clear process to create that plan, and a way to create clarity with your partner or spouse, you can drive to amazing heights. All right, so the question is what's the best bank for a small business? And it's really going to be up to you as the owner, the entrepreneur, the person who's starting this business, to really vet and question and find the right banker. Now, here's a dirty little secret with this. Not all bankers are made equal, but they are scared to death of getting in trouble and coming across in any way, shape, or form as profiling, whether it be racial or socioeconomic or anything along those lines. So what they'll do instead is they have no problem wasting a boatload of your time, even if they know they are never going to make you that loan. Now, I'm not saying they're being racist or socioeconomic or any of that. They aren't. It's just coming down to what does their loan portfolios typically look like. So there are banks out there who literally, for them, a small loan is $10 million. They won't do anything under that. But if they have retail branches, it's technically illegal for them not to take applications, even though they know they're not going to make the loan. They like working with the businesses bigger. There's actually banks out there that only do, they're more of the private banks that don't have retail arms, but they may only do $100 million loans and bigger. That's all they do. So not all banks are made equal in this case. So what's important is for you to go out when you're looking for the ideal bank, and here's a few steps, is to find one that's going to fit for you and for your needs. Now, one of the best places to start is when you build a team of advisors, and it's your obligation, remember, as the owner, you have to figure all the problems out. You have to be able to solve the problems, but it doesn't mean you actually have to know how to do it. You need to make sure it gets done though. And one of the things we talk about a lot in our book, The Aspiring Solopreneur, and in our online course at aspiringsolopreneur.com, is we talk about the idea of how can you build an amazing team of advisors that can help you make sure that you're successful before you even pull the trigger. And they'll do this for free. So usually this starts with a great small business accountant. We talk about how to find a small business accountant. There's a bunch of other videos on this channel that we talk about that. Small business attorney, maybe a small business insurance agent. But those three people usually have a good idea of who are the good small business banks and bankers. And it's going to help you to start having those relationships. So one area to start is ask for referrals. They're going to know who people are working with already. Then the second place you can go is go to potentially competition or people you know already in your space and say, hey, who do you use as a bank? Do you like them? Are they helping you? Are they acting as a partner? Because a quality small business banker, and we have a full chapter on banking in the book, is going to really be a partner with you and be interested and convinced in your success, and they're going to help create relationships, a bunch of other things. So they're going to look at you, and your success is going to help them based on their success. So when you sit down across from the table at the bank, a couple of things you're going to want to understand are, first off, who am I talking to? Is this person a frontline person that really doesn't have any decision-making authority? Sometimes that's the case. And when you're starting, that may be where you have to start. For the banker that I primarily work with, she's actually, she's number 2 at the bank, and she's head of their loan committee and is the chief credit officer. So if there's questions I have or there's challenges, I can call her, and she's actually bailed me out of trouble, with, not trouble, but she's been able to help me out even on weekends when something awkward or weird happened. Nothing terrible, but having that relationship, I've become friends, so we can actually help each other out. So start to try to understand who you're talking with. Find out, is this a decision maker? If not, say, okay, well, help me understand, what does the decision-making process look like? Now, sometimes people are intimidated. I'm sitting across from a banker and they're wearing a $400 suit, or they're a big cheese or whatever. Yeah, don't. You're interviewing them to decide if you're choosing to work with them. And if they act all arrogant and pompous, well, ask to talk to somebody else. And if they all are that way, then go find a different bank. You need somebody that's going to share your values and be curious and want to help you. and realize that this is a two-way street. If you get somebody who's upset about asking questions, then that definitely is a red flag in my book. So say, okay, what is the process for getting a loan? And they'll walk you through what that looks like. What is the process for setting up banking? Okay, what does that look like? How about for if I want to receive credit cards or, we'll do wires or things like that? How much is that going to cost me? Don't be afraid of asking these questions. That's your job, is to understand that in advance. So then as you move forward, you're also going to want to understand how many. Now remember, they can't say whether they make $10 million loans or not, but if you've been referred into it, you've probably got a pretty good idea that it's the right place. But you can go in and say, hey, Miss Banker, help me understand how many people, how many sizes of businesses like me do you currently work with? And if they say none, then okay, hey, thank you very much for your time. Would you recommend another bank that works more with smaller businesses? Likely they're going to know and they'll suggest it. If they say, yeah, actually we have 4 or 5, wonderful. Okay, that's good. So how many loans have you made that are in this range? And likely you're not looking for $1 million, you're maybe looking for $100,000. How many $100,000 loans did you make last month? And if they kind of like look at their shoes and, well, we haven't made any in 2 years. Okay, again, they can't say, you're not our ideal fit because they don't want to get pinched for profiling, but you're not their ideal fit. So you can say, hey, great, thank you very much for letting me know. But if they say, actually, we make 4 of those a month or 8 of those a month, all right, you're probably getting in the right track. So the first one is how many people do you work with that are similar to me and my size? Even you can say my size and even my industry. Then you can also say, all right, who else or what type of loans have you made that are about this size, that fit within these ranges? What kind of lines of credit have you set up for this type of position? It's going to help you understand where they're at. They can answer those questions, but they can't say how many, oh, we don't work on this kind of, or we don't do that. They're really weird about it. And then the last thing is you may say, hey, do you have any people who are doing what I'm doing that you think might be willing to talk to me? Because small business bankers, a great small business banker, they are networking machines and they will help connect you with other people. And in some cases, I've seen people pull business out of that. That's good for the bank, it's good for the banker, and it's good for all the businesses involved. So you can start to lean into it and say, hey, who else do you know in this space that I could talk to, maybe as a reference? But when you do this, you transition from being reactionary to, oh God, I hope the bank accepts me, to, no, I want to find the right bank and invest the right time and energy for me. Because you may have perfect credit and everything could be perfect for you to go in to get a loan, right collateral, whole 9 yards. But if the bank doesn't make those size loans, they're going to just say no. They're just going to deny you and they won't even tell you why. So ideally, you found some value with this. The idea is how can we find what's the best bank for a small business? Hopefully that helps out. If you have questions, you're always welcome to reach out at aspiringsolopreneur.com. And as always, please like, subscribe, and feel free to pass it on. And thank you so very much for investing the time. Keep smiling.